expansion boilers. So high pressure boilers, in which first we are taking the Loeffler boiler. So boiler is the boiler in which the major difficulty experienced in Lamont boiler is the deposition of salt and sediment on the inner surface of the water is eliminated. So here this further increase the danger of overheating the tubes due to salt deposition as it has high thermal resistance, because if in continuation there is the increase of the deposition of the salt over the inside surface of the tubes, there is the danger of overheating. So because of this danger of overheating, because due to the high thermal resistance occurred through the thick film of the salt, and that can cause the overheating of the tubes, further its different implications also. So the pressure feed pumps in this boiler draws the water through the economizer and then delivers it to the evaporator drum. You will see in the picture also, about 65% of the steam coming out of the superheater is passed through the evaporator drum in order to evaporate the feed water coming from the economizer. So here what we do, the principle is different, because in this boiler we use the principle of open or the direct contact heat exchanger, in which two fluids are mixed together. So water as well as the steam coming from the superheater both are mixed together, and the heat is transferred by the steam to the water to evaporate it. So that will definitely eliminate the amount of formation of the salt on the inside surface. So this is the advantage. So the amount of steam generated in the evaporator drum is equal to the steam trapped from the superheater. So the amount of steam which is generated in the evaporator drum, that is equal to the steam trapped, which is the 65% from the superheater. This amount of steam is trapped from the superheater and is used to heat the water. So this is also the amount of steam generated from the evaporator. Now this boiler can carry higher salt concentration than any other type of boiler and is more compact than indirectly heated boilers having natural circulation. These qualities fit it for land or sea transport power generation, because in the coastal areas there is availability of a lot of salt in the water, and then in that case it is very difficult to operate the boiler under other than the Lafayette type of boiler, because salt deposition is a major problem. So the Lafayette boiler with generating capacity of 100 tons. This is the capacity 100 tons per hour, and it is operating 140 bar are already commissioned. Now here you will see the working. So to understand the working of this high pressure type of Lafayette boiler, we are seeing the different parts of this boiler. So here you can see this is the hot water, this is the feed water which will come from the hot well, and this water will pass through this passage and through the economizer section. This is the economizer section. Water will pass through this passage. Then after passing through the economizer, it will move following this passage, moving through this, and then it will come to the evaporating drum here. This is the evaporating drum portion here. This is the evaporating drum. So water will come here. Then it will be heated. Here you can see the different types of the mixing nozzles. These are the all the nozzles. So here the steam is coming from the superheater. 65%, this 65% part of steam is coming from the superheater, which is the superheated steam, and it will mix with the water which is coming from the economizer section. So the mixing of the water as well as the steam will occur here, and heat transfer will occur. Then it will evaporate the water. So this is known as the evaporating drum. And then this evaporated, after evaporation, this steam with the help of this pump will again pass through the radiant superheater. This portion is the radiant superheater, and below this you can see there is the combustion chamber where the combustion of the fuel take place. So the hot gas will be produced here. So by the radiation it will get heat. Then after passing through this radiation superheater, the steam will again pass through this convection superheater. This is the convection superheater. So it will produce the steam, and this steam will after passing through the convection superheater, then it will go uh, towards this channel, and 65% of steam will go for the evaporated drum, and 35% of steam will pass through this HP turbine. So it will run the turbine. 35% part will go for the application. Then this 35% steam which is already passed through the HP turbine, then after producing the work, its pressure and temperature will be reduced. Then this steam will follow this passage and will again go to the reheater here. So this is the reheater. Here the steam will be reheated here again, here in this portion in the boiler, and the reheated steam after getting reheated, then it will go to the again this turbine section. So here after working in this turbine section, the steam will be exhausted to the exhausted. So actually this is the whole operation of this boiler. You can see here this is the economizer section. So the combustion gases after passing through the radiant superheater, convection superheater as well as reheater, these will pass through the economizer section, and then these gases will pass through the this is the air reheater section, and after heating the air which is coming from the coming from the atmosphere via this passage, then will be exhausted to the surrounding. So the main principle of working of this boiler is that we are eliminating the salt deposition, and it is because of the direct contact of the superheated steam coming from this channel to the water which is coming from the hot belt passing through the economizer. So main heat exchange occurring in this section, which is the evaporated drum. Next we are taking the Bellows boiler. Again we are continuing. So the Bellows boiler, it is a four circulation type of boiler. It is a four circulation type of boiler and water tube boiler. It is called as the steam generator and most successful application of a gas turbine in this boiler. The principle of operation of this boiler is different from the other types of boiler, and it has the unique basic theory than other boilers. The basic theory is that Bellows boiler use gas in the combustion chamber, and the principal theory uh, in this boiler is that when the gas velocity exceeds the velocity of sound, then the heat transfer rate from the gas is much higher. So, if the velocity of gas is in the subsonic zone, then there is a considerably lower rate of the heat transfer. But when the gas velocity exceeds the velocity of sound, there is considerable increase in the rate of heat transfer, and this principle is used in Bellows boiler to uh, transfer the heat from the gas to the water. So this theory in this boiler can increase the total heat transfer rate. That means the steam generation rate without actually increasing the its size. So how we can increase the rate of heat transfer? We have to increase its capacity by increasing its size. But here by applying simply this principle, increasing the velocity of the gases beyond the sound velocity, we can increase the rate of heat transfer and steam generation rate can be increased. Now this Bellows boiler size is limited to 100 tons per hour. The main reason is 600 bhp is required to run the air compressor at 1000 tons output. Because of that, because this amount of bhp is required to run the compressor, and because of that, we do not increase the size of the boiler more than the capacity, that is 100 tons per hour. Now here you will understand the working of this Bellows boiler. So on the top side, you can see there is a fuel tank. This is the fuel tank. So from the fuel tank will come by this passage, and this is the fuel pump. So fuel pump will take oil from this fuel tank, and this will pass through this passage and will go to the combustion chamber. Here you can see there is a nozzle. This is the nozzle section. So when the fuel will come here, the nozzle will break the fuel into small particles. In the second case, here you can also see there is a gas turbine. This one is the gas turbine, and this is the compressor. This compressor is running by this motor. So by this motor, this compressor will produce the compressed air, and the compressed air will pass through this passage, and this will also reach this nozzle. So in this nozzle, the oil as well as air both are coming. So the air will break the oil into small fine particles, and because the nozzle is also a shape having the decreasing cross sectional area, so definitely the speed of the fuel mixture or the fuel in the small particle will also increase. Now on this left side, you can see there is a feed water tank. This is a feed water tank. From the fuel will come. There is a feed pump. So feed pump will take the uh, feed water. Then this feed water will pass through this economizer section. So from this economizer section, the water will pass, and this water then will go following this passage, and then will pass through this passage, and then will enter the steam separating drum here. So water is coming from this heat water tank, passing through the economizer, and then entering the steam separating drum. Now, to understand the working of this type of Velox boiler, the water is coming from this steam separator drum, and with the help of this pump, water is being taken from this steam separator drum, and with the help of this water circulating pump, it will pass through the different water tubes. Actually, these are the water tubes shown on the periphery, and here you can see this is the gas tube. So the gas tube is the larger section, and the water tube are to the smaller section. So when in this nozzle where the fuel is coming as well as compressed air is coming, then combustion takes place here, which will increase the higher temperature and pressure, and also there is the nozzle cross section area which is decreasing. So it will produce the combustion gases with a very high velocity, that is the supersonic velocity. When the gases are in this combustion chamber moving with the supersonic velocity, and on the periphery side, outer side, there is the water tubes having the water. So heat transfer from these gases to the water will occur, and water will be evaporated, and after evaporation of the water, the evaporate the steam will enter in this steam separate drum. Here the water will be evaporated by taking the heat from the gases in this section, and then it will produce the steam. Then this steam will come to the steam separator. Then steam separator, the steam will lie on the top side or toppers or the upper section. So from this section, steam will move or will go following this passage, and this steam will enter here, and this is known as the superheater section. So steam is coming here in the superheater section. Also, the gas produced which has transferred the heat to the water here to convert it into steam. Then this gas, again there is the uh, decreasing cross sectional area. So the gas will come here, and this gas also will pass through this superheater section. So in the superheater, the steam is coming from here, and gas is coming from here. So this gas will transfer heat to the steam. The steam will be superheated, and then after superheating, this steam with the this steam is ready to for any process, for the any application. So this steam will go there. Now the gases, after giving heat to the in the superheater to the steam, these will enter here in the gas turbine and will run the gas turbine. So initially, when the cycle starts here, the motor will give power to the compressor. This is the compressor. But when the cycle starts, the gases will come from the superheater and will run the gas turbine. So gas turbine and compressor, these two are coupled together. These two, the gas turbine as well as the air compressor, both are coupled together. So now the air compressor will take power from the gas turbine, and then this electric motor will be cut off. After giving running this gas turbine, the gases now will pass through this passage, and then these will enter this economizer section, and after passing through economizer section giving heat to the water, then these will be exhausted to the atmosphere. So this is the whole working of the Bellows boiler, and is a very important boiler, particularly for the gas turbine. Now there are several advantage of this type of boiler. So this boiler is having several advantages. This boiler has a high heat transfer rate. This boiler is having the high heat transfer rate. Second is high transfer rate because there is the principle used to increase the velocity of the gases at the supersonic velocity, and the heat transfer rate will increase. Second, it has great flexibility. Great flexibility means when we have to produce the more number or more amount of steam at the higher rate, we can use this boiler. Third, compact in design because this boiler is used also to the gas turbine as well as to produce the steam at the higher rate. So it is having the typical of the compact type of design because it is having the a more number of the parts. Easy to control because just we are controlling the production of the gas, so we are using the fuel as well as the air. So by controlling these two quantity we can easily control this boiler. It is fully automatic, so we can, when we can control these two quantities, then it can run automatically as per the requirement. And it has great thermal efficiency of 90 to 95%. This is the main advantage of this boiler, that it gives the efficiency 90 to 95%. Thank you.